Hello my fellow witches, sorcerers, and other magical practitioners. My name is Aiden, and welcome to the second to last part of my Deity Work series. It's been a while. Check my update video if you are unsure of why I've been absent as of late. But let's finish out this series so I can start working on some other things. So this pretty much final video, because the next video is just a redo of the first one. So for this last video, I'm going to be talking about some miscellaneous things. It should hopefully be a lot shorter. Some miscellaneous things relating to deity work and how that relates to the practice of deity work. I don't know what I was going to say. So let's get right into it. So I guess like the first thing I want to point out is there are all different types of deity relationships. The ones that I've talked about here are kind of based around my own personal practice, as well as what I see largely in the occult and witchcraft spaces. However, there are plenty of other different types of deity relationships. Some relationships can be a lot more formalized and a lot more deep and esoteric. So some people might be communal priests or priestesses or priestesses, and that would mean that they serve a role in the community and that they have a particular job that they need to do within that community that relates to that deity. This can be a coven or a pagan church. I've heard those things are kind of popular now, but it can really be anything, and that kind of relationship will vary from organization to organization, but it largely is a lot more devotional, a lot deeper, more intimate relationship with a deity. I personally think that being a priest or priestess or priestess would take longer to come about to. Like, you wouldn't want to see, like, oh, hell is reaching out to me, I'm going to be a priest. Or Diana is reaching out to me, I'm going to be her priestess. Or, I don't know, Ganesha is reaching out to me, I'm going to be his priestess. Which also, you should know about the culture first, please. Know about the culture, the cultural history, and if there are groups that still function as a modern day religion, you should look into talking to them first about priesthood before you decide to form a little coven, decide you're a priest of, I don't know, Ogun. Please research that first. Please. And thank you. But yeah. Other religions can go in the opposite direction with threatening deities. Like, you would threaten and curse a deity if they don't give you what you want, kind of thing. That is a form of relationship that does exist. It's not super common, but an example of this would be in the Eradia mythos with Diana. There are spells where you would threaten her and command her around. I believe there's also some other things. It's kind of seen a little bit with some saint practices as well, where you threaten or humiliate certain saints to get them to give you what you want. There's also threatening demons, which is in some Goetia and Goetia adjacent practices, where you would conjure up the demon and you would threaten them and command them. In my experience, I only just need to command them most of the time. I don't need to actually go into the threats or the conjuration of the fire, which, is interesting. I don't need to threaten or harm them most of the time. I don't think I've ever done that, but I digress. So that's kind of my spiel on deity relationships. Lots exist, and there's plenty in between both of those. They go out beyond those probably, and it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Other things I wanted to talk about were things you can do in your everyday life. I touched a little bit on offerings, but you can do things in your everyday life for deities, and setting up an altar is a good idea. For example, we can go beyond that. Learn about them and research them as an offering. You can also go out into the world and actually do things as an offering. So, for example, maybe work at a homeless shelter for Hecate, or work at an animal rescue for Artemis. Um, like think of things related to those deities and what would be respectful to them and something that you can do to honor them on this physical world and do their work in the physical world, because that's also important. I feel is doing the work of the gods on the physical earth, because they work through us. They don't come down often and do a thing for us. We have to work as well. And that's the biggest thing. You do have to actually put in some physical worldly efforts to get what you need and what you want. That's the biggest thing with magic. It's not just got all my money now. It's going to work now. Comedy. So yeah, there's that. Do the work of the gods on this earth. If you want to help out in your community, look into volunteer groups and things like that. And if you can even find them, like pagan volunteer groups, that'd be really cool. A couple other things that I will touch on is deities will not smite you. Angering deities is very hard, and I've only managed to upset spirits a few times. They weren't really that angry, and it really wasn't me. In all honesty, it was other people I was in the group working, which is frustrating. Um, but yeah, know when you work with someone that you can trust them. That's kind of important. Um, so yeah, that's something to look into. But yeah, deities won't smite you. They're not going to be so pissed off with you that they're going to come down and personally squish you. It's not going to happen. I've never heard of it happening. I really don't think it's going to happen. If you like, I don't know. Like some people get really paranoid, and it's like I didn't leave out water tonight, so Diana's gonna leave me and smite me and destroy everything I have. Oh no, I'm cursed forever or whatever. Probably not gonna happen. Just say sorry and do something to make it up. You know, like it's communicate, please, please. In all your relationships, communicate. That's important. Please talk to people, know your boundaries and all that good stuff. Um, and next is we're going to talk about naming people after deities, because this is like an adjacent topic. This is just a miscellaneous video, so I don't have to justify it. It's my video. So people feel weird about naming people after deities or naming themselves after deities sometimes, and I want to say it's totally fine. People name people after famous people, after saints. I know people who were named after names of God. Like I know people named Adonai, El Shaddai, things like that. So if you can name yourself after God, you can name yourself after Hecate. Um, Make sure the name resonates with you, and if you do believe in and work with that spirit, maybe talk to them about it. It can be an honorary name, or it can be your full regular name. But just something to consider. I know some people feel weird about it. I personally have no issues with it. My name Aiden is a fire god's name. I don't work with that fire god. I do believe in him. Um, yeah, Aiden is a name of an Irish fire god. As far as I'm aware, he's Irish. I thought that was really cool when I found that out. But Aiden's also a really common name, so I shouldn't really use that. But yeah, I know people who are named Adonai and El Shaddai. Um, wouldn't be surprised if other people were named after other names of God. There's people named Jesus, like Jesus. Um, so yeah, go for it. Other things, just some minor details. Divination with deities is something that you can do. Like I have tarot decks dedicated to certain deities. I can't recall if I went over this. I've been kind of scatterbrained because of what I explained in my last video, my update video. You can do divination with deities. I dedicate my decks to certain spirits. I don't think I have them actually dedicated to any deities per se. But I have them dedicated to various spirits, and I only work with those spirits with those decks. And yeah, I'll call upon a spirit and work with them through tarot deck. You can dedicate some other forms of divination, like runes per se, like to Odin, or your bones to Hecate, or another death deity, or whatever you have. Dedicate them. It's a way to build a relationship, because as you're working with those, you're working with that deity, and you're getting that energy and connection all together, and it's just a good time for everyone. With that, tarot cards can also be associated with deities as well as runes, I believe. I don't really work outside of tarot in terms of other traditional forms of divination. I've done some other minor forms, but they're not really codified forms of divination. But you can use tarot to connect with them, and some cards are connected and correspond to certain deities, so you can look into that, make your own correspondences. Like an example is the Fool represents Dionysus and Pan. Pan can also be associated with the devil, and most horn gods can also be associated with the devil. The Magician generally represents Mercury, things like that. Um, and there's more obscure ones, and it kind of varies. I have used 777 as a reference for that, though it's not perfect. It works for a lot of what I do. And yeah, I think that's most of everything that I wanted to cover. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for next week's final episode of this Deity Work series. Feel free to check out other videos as well. I will be posting the next Deity Work video hopefully soon, within the next day or two. And I will be working on other videos. I will be moving back to college on Thursday, so I may have a little delay in videos, but no, I won't have a delay. You know what? I'm not going to have a delay. I'm going to have videos come out on time and consistently. That's my affirmation. That's my mantra for this coming year, this coming quarter, this coming week. So yeah, again, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.